I prep my cup by using acetone on a coffee filter, and I wipe down the cup and make sure that there's no residue or any particles that would prevent the Mod Podge from adhering on it prior to starting. This cup was a BYOC cup where the customer provided the cup, and so I'm using the acetone to remove the logo that was on the cup prior to starting.
Can't be right, and all you ever do is fight. But there's a reason that the road is long. It takes some time to make your courage strong. Hold on tight a little longer. What don't kill you makes you stronger. Get back up, 'cause it's a whole lot. You can't change without a fallout.
This cup has a standard glitter coverage, which is where I tape off the top as well as the bottom. So what I'm doing here is I'm taping off those portions.
When the wolves come and hunt me down, I will face them all and stand my ground. 'Cause there's a fire burning deep. They will see my strength in this love I've found. Whoa. Hold on tight a little longer. What don't kill you makes you stronger. Get back up, 'cause it's a whole lot. You can't change without a fallout. It's gonna hurt, but don't you slow down. Get back.
I try to make a little tab with my tape as well so that it's easy to find the seam when I'm ready to pull.
Hold on tight a little longer. What don't kill you makes you stronger. Get back up, 'cause it's a whole lot. You can't change without a fallout. It's gonna hurt, but don't you slow down. Get back up, 'cause it's a whole lot. 'Cause it's a whole lot.
I use hard coat Mod Podge as my adhesive for applying my glitter, and I put it in a little bowl, either a silicone bowl or these little dip bowls that I found, and then I either apply with a sponge brush or a paintbrush, whichever one I feel most comfortable with at the time. I usually use paintbrush for the first coat of glitter and then a sponge brush for the second coat.
Somewhere halfway around the world, begging God for a little girl she could call her own. Where worlds collide and colors fade, and a man and wife brought their little girl home today, and there's one less.
I always apply a very heavy coat of Mod Podge to start with, and that way I'm making sure that it does not dry before it comes to glittering. So I apply a very heavy coat, and then I will go back over it and smooth it out and take any excess off prior to applying the glitter.
And the orphans, but it's easy to ignore their silent cries. Oh, but every single time somebody reaches into the darkness, makes a choice to help the helpless, they let mercy save a life, and there's one less, one
Now that the entire cup is coated in Mod Podge, I'm going back over it to smooth it out and remove any of the excess.
So let worlds collide, colors fade. Let your life be the miracle today. One last broken heart in the world tonight. Tonight I know there's one less. There's one less broken heart in the world tonight.
You always want to be sure that you also get that lip where the cup starts to taper so that you don't have excess Mod Podge in that one area. The first coat of glitter on an ombre cup, you don't have to be careful with the glitter coverage. So I do heavy on the top for the first color and heavy on the bottom for the second color. And I don't care at this point that there's a hard line between the two. I go around it a couple times just to make sure that as the glitter is adhering to that Mod Podge, that there's no new Mod Podge that's free and that is not covered by glitter. So I go around it a couple times and just make sure it's completely covered. This is my second color of glitter that I'm doing now, and again, like I said, I just make sure I go over it, and I do a heavy coat, first coat, and I don't care if this is ombre looking on the first coat. I just want to make sure that my entire cup has coverage and that there will be no tumbler showing, and actually the stainless steel showing through my glitter. After I had finished the blue, I shook it off very well and kind of banged the cup down on the wax paper just to make sure I got all the blue loose off, so that when I did the second color of the pink, that when I kind of tapped it off, that I wouldn't get any blue into my pink color. After you've let your cup sit for approximately 30 minutes with the hard coat Mod Podge, I do go ahead and brush it off, and I take any of the excess glitter that has not adhered at this point. I brush it all off, and you want a clean, smooth base of your glitter colors once you go to add your Mod Podge. If you don't do this, if you do not brush off your cups, then when you apply your Mod Podge, it will start balling up and get kind of gummy, and you do not want that. You want it to be a smooth coat, so you want to make sure you're brushing off your cups. I then apply my second coat of Mod Podge, and just like the first coat, I apply it pretty heavy at first. And when you are doing the second coat, you're going to be working with the glitter. So I generally work from one color and do all of the one color first, and then do the second color, and then kind of go in the middle so that my colors of the glitter, I'm not pulling those into the other areas until I'm ready to do the ombre with the actual loose glitter, and I'm sprinkling that. After you get the entire cup coated in the Mod Podge, then go back through and wipe off any of the excess Mod Podge, and just make sure you get it super smooth and no streaks or bumps or deposits of Mod Podge that are heavier. You just want it to be as smooth as possible, because whatever it's there, that's what your glitter is going to adhere to. So you want to make sure that if you want a smooth glitter coverage, then you need a smooth Mod Podge coverage. When I do my ombres, I always do the lighter color first in the ombre, and then I come back in with the darker color. And for the lighter color, I do heavy base, and then I work my way all the way around, and I usually start at the edge, and then I start sprinkling it towards the middle up to the portion of the top that I want it to ombre together. So as you can see here, I've pulled my actual glitter shaker away from the cup, and I'm just letting it float down and just sprinkling it on those joint areas where I want it to be ombreed together.
capture me with grace. I need you, Jesus, come to my rescue. Tell me where else can I go? There's no other name by which I am saved. Oh, capture me with grace. Oh, I need you, Jesus, to come to my rescue.
For the second color of your ombre, you want to just start heavy at the top and just work your way down to where it joins. You do not have to be specific and, do lightly for your second color, because wherever you didn't sprinkle for your first color, it's going to cover that area. So the most important part of an ombre is to get your first light color exactly where you want it, and then your next color will just cover the rest of that. So as you can see here, I'm just putting a heavy coat over all of the exposed Mod Podge at this point.
I will follow you. This world has nothing for me. This world has nothing for me.
I then pull the tape immediately after I finished my second coat of glitter, and then I let it dry for approximately 30 minutes or a day. After I pulled the tape, I waited for it to dry, and then I brushed it off. So this is what it looked like prior to epoxying it.
No better word than from your lips. No perfect life than what you
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more.